Hello everyone, and welcome back to Top 10 Trends. Endangered species are bullshit. I know you don't believe me, but you're not as smart as me, so just take a seat and try to understand. Not all endangered species are bullshit. Some really are in trouble, and they need our help after we decimate them. But you know who doesn't need our help? Canadian geese. It was hard to track down a straight answer, but they seem to have at least at one point in time been on the endangered species list, and I couldn't find a good reason why. They were nowhere near extinct. And if you're from anywhere in the north, you know what I'm talking about. These species, however, actually need our help. These are some of the top 10 most endangered species. Number 10, the giant panda. The giant panda, also known as a panda bear or simply a panda, is native to South Central China. You've seen these bears before. They're the ones with black and white fur. Fun fact, giant pandas have actually been removed from endangered to vulnerable because of human intervention. There are estimates that there are over 3,000 wild giant pandas, which is great. However, I put pandas on this list because I think they should go extinct. The reason I think they should go extinct is because they limit their food sources too much. They only eat bamboo, and when one animal only eats one type of plant, they're setting themselves up for failure. It doesn't help that they have the digestive system of a carnivore, which makes their food processing terrible. They get very little energy from the food they do eat. They're also too stupid to actually reproduce in captivity. You have to artificially inseminate pandas to make more of them. They lose their interest in mating once they're captured. A great panda mother can't produce milk for 2 cubs, so she picks the bigger one, and then the other one dies. Terrible animal. I wish they were extinct. Number 9, the Siamese crocodile. The Siamese crocodile is a medium-sized freshwater crocodile native to Indonesia, also Malaysia, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. They are critically endangered and already completely extinct from most regions. There are 700,000 of these crocodiles available in commercial fisheries, so they're not going to disappear off the planet, but wild ones are. It's estimated that there are less than 100 of these crocodiles left in the wild, which is probably a good thing, because, and stay with me here, as mankind grows and adapts, we will eventually replace nature as the dominant force on the planet. Now, we're not there yet. We're right behind that wily bitch, but we'll be there soon. In order to fully replace nature, we'll have to take care of its terrible monster creatures. Kill off the ones that suck and keep things like cows alive because they're pretty awesome. This is the way things are going to be in the future. If you think that we're going to make it to Mars before we've completely conquered Earth, you're probably right, but we'll at least have enslaved all of our former predators, and that includes crocodiles. Most of these crocodiles lost their habitat during the Vietnam War. As humans expand, they lose more territory to agriculture due to chemical fertilizers and pesticides. It's worth noting that Siamese crocodiles have lost 99% of their wildlife. That's a huge percentage. Number 8, the Siberian tiger. The Siberian tiger, also called the Amur tiger, is a subspecies inhabiting the Russian Far East. At one point in time, Siberian tigers lived all throughout Korea and northeastern China, as well as Mongolia and the Russian Far East. As of 2015, it's estimated there are only 562 wild Siberian tigers in Russia, and they don't live in any other countries anymore. The Siberian tiger and the Bengal tiger are the biggest living cats. Today's wild Siberian tigers actually have adapted to be smaller than Bengal tigers. Siberian tigers were pushed to the brink of extinction during the Russian Civil War, where both sides, based in Vladivostok, wiped out local Siberian tigers. The last viable Siberian tiger population in Russia were confined to Ussuriland. There were only 40 remaining tigers in the wild. In 1947, the Soviet Union created anti-poaching control zones that were heavily patrolled. After the dissolution of the Soviet Union, illegal deforestation and bribery of the park rangers brought more poaching of Siberian tigers. There were also Siberian tigers in the Korean peninsula in the early 1900s. However, they were hunted to extinction by the Japanese during their occupation of Korea. The last Siberian tiger in South Korea was killed in 1922. Number 7, the California condor. The California condor is the largest North American land bird. It became extinct in the wild in 1987. All the remaining wild ones have been captured. The species has been reintroduced into northern Arizona and southern Utah and the coastal mountains of central and southern California. Condor numbers dramatically declined throughout the 20th century due to poaching, lead poisoning, that's an interesting one, and habitat destruction, the classic. A conservation plan was put in place by the United States government that led to the capture of all the remaining wild condors completed in 1987, with 27 individuals. That's a low number. These surviving birds were bred at the San Diego Wild Animal Park and the Los Angeles Zoo. Through captive breeding, numbers have increased, and in 1991, the condors were reintroduced into the wild. It's one of the world's rarest species of bird. As of December 2016, there are only 446 wild or captive California condors total. Number 6, the mountain gorilla. The mountain gorilla is one of two subspecies of the eastern gorilla. As of September 2016, the estimated number of mountain gorillas is only about 880. They are critically endangered. Hilarious! They gave us AIDS, you shouldn't feel bad for them. Some of the biggest threats towards mountain gorillas are poaching. Gorillas are maimed or killed by traps set for other animals accidentally. And also, their infants are abducted and sold to zoos illegally and sold to other wealthy people as pets. This often results in the adult gorillas being killed in the process. They've lost their habitat, there are diseases because of their contact with tourists, and war has destroyed quite a few of these gorillas. In 1991, the International Gorilla Conservation Program was established as a joint effort of the African Wildlife Foundation, Fauna and Flora International, and the Worldwide Fund for Nature. They began a conservation of mountain gorillas and took their work to many different levels of involvement, from local all the way up to international, involving protections in the field as well as changes in law enforcement and research and education. Number 5, the black rhino. Aw, shit. The black rhinoceros, or hook-lipped rhinoceros, is native to eastern and southern Africa. Although it's referred to as black, its colors vary from brown to gray. The species is classified as critically endangered, and one of its 3 subspecies, the western black rhinoceros, was declared extinct in 2011. For most of the 20th century, the continental black rhino was one of the most numerous of all the rhino species. Around 1900, there were several 100,000 rhinos living in Africa. By the 1950s, that had dropped to 70,000. In the 1960s, there were only 10,000 left. In the early 1990s, the number dipped below 2,500, and in 2004, it was reported that only 2,410 black rhinos remained. Black rhinos are still being hunted to this day. A permit to hunt a black rhinoceros in Namibia sold for $350,000 at a fundraiser. The biggest threat to these rhinos seems to be illegal poaching and competing species, as well as war. Number 4, the Hawaiian crow. The Hawaiian crow is a species of bird in the crow family, and it's currently extinct in the wild. They live up to 18 years in nature and 20 years in captivity. Some native Hawaiians consider the Hawaiian crow a family god, but it must be a really crappy god because they're extinct in the wild. The species is known for its strong flying ability and resourcefulness, but that wouldn't make any sense considering they went extinct. Nice try, Wikipedia. Their small population size makes the species very vulnerable to environmental fluctuations, leading to a very high likelihood of inbreeding, which results in lethal deformities. Unlike most crows, Hawaiian crows did not adapt well to humans. Farmers shoot these crows because they believe to disturb the crops, and illegal hunting has continued even after legal protection was granted to the crows. Number 3. Fin whales. The fin whale, also known as the finback whale, razorback, so on and so forth, is the marine mammal belonging to the baleen whale family. It's the second largest mammal on Earth, only after the blue whale. Like all other large whales, they were heavily hunted during the 20th century and are now an endangered species. Over 725,000 fin whales were taken from the southern hemisphere between 1905 and 1976, and as of 1997, only 38,000 remain. Recovery of the overall population size is predicted to be less than 50% of its pre-whaling state by 2100 due to heavier impacts of whaling and their slow recovery rate. Global population estimates state that there are less than 100,000 of these whales currently alive today, which means that only 10% of the whale's population is still currently alive. The introduction of steam-powered boats and harpoons made an incredible impact on fin whales because before they had previously been able to outrun open boat whalers. They were hunted for their blubber, oil, and baleen. Number 2. Okapi. The okapi is a giraffid artiodactyl mammal native to the northeast of the Democratic Republic of the Congo in Central Africa. Although they look like zebra, they're closely related to the giraffe. The okapi and the giraffe are the only living members of the family Giraffidae. They're about 1.5 meters tall and weird looking. They are endangered animals. Major threats include habitat loss due to logging and human settlement. Extensive hunting for bushmeat and skin, as well as illegal mining operations, have also led to a decline in population. The Okapi Conservation Project was established in 1987 to protect okapi. In June 2012, a gang of poachers attacked the headquarters of the Okapi Wildlife Reserve, killing 6 guards and other staff, as well as all 14 okapis at their breeding center. These things are hunted like crazy. And number 1, the Amur leopard. The Amur leopard is a leopard subspecies that lives in Russia and the northeast province of China. It's critically endangered. In 2007, only 19 of these things were estimated to survive. As of 2015, fewer than 60 individuals are estimated to survive in Russia and China. And with those kind of numbers, you have to ask how screwed up the gene pool is. Poaching of leopards is a main threat to their survival. There are rumors that Chinese traders buy leopard skins. In the 14 months from February 2002 to April 2003, 7 parts of skins were confiscated. 6 in Russia and 1 in China. Leopards are killed by local Russians from small villages and then sold to the Chinese. Human-induced fires are also a main threat to the survival of the Amur leopard. Setting fire to a natural field is how rural farmers burn through an area to improve fertility for livestock grazing or quickly remove a forest. And the last problem I already talked about is genetic inbreeding, considering there just aren't enough of these things left. Well guys, I hope you like this sad list. If you did like this list, give a like down below, and to make sure we don't go extinct, hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna kill myself. What's your favorite extinct animal? Mine is the dodo bird. Have a great day.